Hello, and thank you for joining me here on the News Summary. I'm Liza Shatayeva. Stay with me and get on board with the latest news from Kazakhstan. The National Fund will not support the country's enterprises from now on, as Kazakhstan's economy is switching to a special anti-crisis mode. Last week, President Nazarbayev discussed the approaching economic challenges during a meeting with Prime Minister Karim Massimov. Nursultan Nazarbayev also spoke about the economic downturn at a recent meeting with the leaders of China, Russia and the United States. Kazakhstan, being involved in the global processes, has also been greatly affected by the dropping oil prices.
Если проанализировать состояние экономики в мире, в Европе, с восточной стороны в Азии, близкого улучшения ситуации.
We cannot predict the improvement of economic situation if we analyze the economic situation in Europe and East Asia. Therefore, we must make sure that our people fully understand the current situation. This means the profit reduction of domestic enterprises, lower revenues and possible job cuts. We are facing a crisis stronger than in 2007-2009. In this regard, I am instructing the government to review all this and develop a plan of anti-crisis work, and also identify measures and explain to the people what we are going to do.
Проанализировать все это, составить план нашей антикризисной работы, меры, которые мы должны делать, провести при этом и довести до народа, что мы собираемся делать.
The Kazakh president has forbidden to spend the funds of the National Fund to support the unprofitable enterprises, but he rather encouraged to finance the export-oriented enterprises. Kazakhstan's businesses need to switch to a special mode of operation, according to the president.
Все наши предприятия, области не должны сидеть и ждать, что государство сейчас деньгами из фонда зальют их и выручат. Не будет этого.
Companies should not expect that the state will provide them with the means to operate. This will not happen. I forbid using money from the National Fund for construction of new facilities and financial support for poorly performing enterprises. In this situation, it will be clear which production work is effective and which is not. Also, we will have a privatization switch to attract more efficient management. I also want to instruct all ministries, agencies, regional governors and mayors of cities and regions to encourage industrial production in order to enhance its capacity. We need to develop the manufacturing sector and facilitate the production volume increase.
Освоение мощности тех предприятий, которые мы построили, подтянуть производство, подтянуть объемы везде, во всех отраслях экономики.
Nursultan Nazarbayev paid a working visit to the Kyzyl region last Monday. Right from the airport, the president's motorcade headed to the newly constructed microdistrict, where the head of the state met with the new tenants who had just received the long-awaited apartments under the state program of regional development.
This residential area in Kyzyl has been built as part of the program of regional development. Nearly 4 billion tenge was directed on the construction of 10 houses. It is a happy day today for us and for our family because our president came to visit us. With the help of the head of state, we got our own flat. We have 3 children and now waiting for the 4th one. And for us, this is a great support. 43 multi-story houses will be built in the regional center until the end of December, where more than 2,000 families will receive apartments. Social facilities are also being built in the region, in addition to the residential houses, including schools, kindergartens and hospitals. Also, the first racetrack will be launched in the region in the near future. On top of all that, they are starting to build an international weightlifting center named after Ilya Ilyin and a 3,000-seat indoor football arena. All favorable conditions have been created for the people's welfare, and we must continue to build housing and we must attract businesses for this. The world is going through a difficult economic situation and our revenues have decreased as the prices for oil and coal dropped. Therefore, it is necessary to actively attract new investors. By visiting a local factory, the head of state has personally made sure that cheap feed mill of domestic production is available to farmers in the Aral Sea region. This plant produces 2 types of products, granulated and loose feeds, using German technology and local raw materials from own fields, and buys it from local farmers. In the future, we plan to build a flour mill, pasta factory and workshop for the production of instant noodles. Our agricultural complex will employ 500 people when this project will be fully implemented. Unusual to the Aral Sea regional, trees such as pine, spruce, oak, juniper will embellish the region. Nursultan Nazarbayev visited an experimental platform for the subsidiary 18-hectare farm Koksu during his two-day visit to the Kizilorda region. About 150,000 deciduous, coniferous, fruit and ornamental trees and shrubs have been planted on the territory and have been adapted to the local climatic conditions. The farm is engaged in landscaping of the regional center and conducts selection works. The company has assured that landscaping of steppe areas will help improve the ecological situation in the region. You see this garden? Such beautiful forest has been grown on a salt marsh where normally nothing grows, thanks to the strong will, diligence and hard work of one man. We should exalt such people. They said that trees couldn't grow in Astana, but look at what grows there now, 71 hectares of woods that connect to the Burabai forest. If within the program Jasil Yel, country's youth would plant trees and take care of them, we will assume that they will have left a trace behind. On the other side, trees decorate the country and improve the environment. We will be surrounded by beauty. The territory of Kazakhstan is enormous, but the forest compiles only about 3 or 4% of it. In addition, the president visited Kizilorda's situational center. It has been operating since June last year. The main task of the center is to control the operational situation in the region. From this office, governors can get in touch with the chiefs of the most active remote regions online. It is harvest season, and this connection is needed more than ever, experts say.
A number of agreements signed within the framework of the recent CIS summit held in Burabai will protect the external frontiers of our country against terrorist threats, according to the military analysts. During the discussions, Russian experts highlighted Kazakhstan's initiatives in battle against terrorism. According to them, the International Forum Islam Against Terrorism, which was proposed to be held by President Nursultan Nazarbayev, will be an important step in an attempt to counter recruitment activities of the terrorist groups.
It is necessary to expand the opportunities that we have now to attract new countries, creating new forms of fighting terrorism. And Nursultan Nazarbayev's initiative in this sense is very useful. It will help fight terrorism and radical Islam more efficiently, and it is clear that this is a common threat.
Almaty's local government officials have recently rejected the costly Kokjaylaw project in favor of optimizing the local budget. The construction of the ski resort has been suspended. Public investments in the construction of this facility in a span of 5 years were estimated at $450 million. This year, the local budget expenses were cut by more than 30 billion tenge. The funds will be used to finance more important tasks instead, the Maslihat members say. Kazakh government officials of the B Corps will be provided with housing without the right to privatization in the future. Such initiative was proposed in the draft law on public service, which was passed by the Senate on October 22nd. The new law is hoped to strengthen the principle of meritocracy. The recruitment to the civil service will be held only on a competitive basis. The bill introduces a 3-stage selection of candidates and the Staff Rotation Institute. Applicants for vacant posts will be tested on the knowledge of law and commitment to the values of public servants, as well as their personal and professional qualities. In addition, the new law will allow recruiting foreign nationals to the state service.
Foreign managers will be invited to execute the duties of civil servants in compliance with labor contracts, but not to take the position itself. The contract will be signed by the head of the state body, and candidates will be invited and introduced to the National Commission on Human Resources Policy, which will decide whether to hire them. In addition, the candidates will undergo a special control process by the National Security.
Russian experts have highlighted the prospects of Kazakhstan's new space systems. For example, the high-precision remote sensing system is said to have no analogs in the CIS today. It has been created to receive the operational monitoring information for solving the problems in agriculture, environmental control, cartography, as well as defense and national security. Head of the Kazakh Space Policy Institute, Ivan Moiseyev, says that projects of modern Kazakh space programs developed in partnership with France and Russia are very promising.
First, here are the two satellites launched under the most promising programs such as communications and remote sensing. This is modern technology. These are very successful projects of Kazakhstan in collaboration with France, which is the leader in machine tool construction in many terms, and Kazakhstan may get a lot of experience in creating its own devices. The current pace of development I see in Kazakhstan now is quite satisfactory.
Modernization of Kazakhstan's largest petrochemical plant is underway in Pavlodar. The old production lines and installations are being already replaced while the new ones are under construction. The modernization will be implemented within 2 years and the plant will increase its annual output by almost 1.5 times.
The main task of modernization is to improve the quality of the produced fuel to Euro 5 standard and fully cover the demand of fuel at the local market.
Мы пришли в конкретную часть, так называемая часть C.
We now moved to specifics, or the so-called S step, which is construction. After this, the process will be easier, and then later we would reach all other processes, and this notorious shortage of gasoline will disappear. These annual market surges will too disappear.
Рыночные всплески тоже исчезнут.
The switch will take place within the Accelerated Industrial Innovative Program that will cost $623 million. Two contractors have been hired to carry out the works deliberately to create a competitive environment.
Сейчас ГСМ находится.
Currently, petroleum products are in the market's environment. Once we launch soon, prices will be even lower. The market is a process and has come to its normal state. All three refineries in Kazakhstan are undergoing modernization today, and the completion of the works will completely abandon the need to purchase Russian fuel. Now only the share of the Pavlodar's enterprise accounts for 60% of all gasoline produced in the country.
Over 12,000 new conscripts have already joined the military service since a special recruitment campaign started on October 1st. Watch the next story to learn more about the selection process.
Abdulmanapov Bektas Abdushukurovich, мен сіз Жамбыл облысы Мерке ауданы 11971 әскер бөліміне барасыз. Команданы 2 күннен кейін алып кетеміз.
For many of these young men, the oath is sacred. In 2 days already, 30 astounded conscripts will leave for the south to carry out the military service. Their personal files are almost full of sports achievements. There are candidates for Master of Sports and recruits with higher education. They will serve in air mobile troops or in air defense units. In general, selection of recruits is stricter nowadays.
Попадаю в пехоту. Желание хорошее.
I am in the infantry. I have a strong will because they are elite troops. In general, everyone must serve, I think, to give their duty to motherland.
Каждый должен отслужить, отдать долг родине.
Experts have noted the high-quality reserve and improved health index of future soldiers. Every 10th recruit of the total number of conscripts has only minor diseases, most commonly gastrointestinal diseases.
На втором месте это хирургическая патология.
On the second place, there is a surgical pathology, which is not too serious as a rule. These include such diseases as deformation, feet distortion, varicocele, and those diseases which are subject to surgical treatment in a short time. And on the third place, according to the results of the Spring Commission, we had ear, nose, throat diseases.
Патологии как лорозаболевания.
Also, according to experts, 90% of children which the medical board gave a reprieve after treatment again returned to the ranks of recruits. Diagnostic rooms which provide drug tests and screening for hepatitis, tuberculosis have been opened everywhere. But there is a special test in order to establish the moral and psychological stability of recruits. We don't have any cases of men who try to avoid the draft. You can send an inquiry to the police. There are no men charged on this article. In accordance with the amendments to the law, evaders will face a fine, 1-year imprisonment, or 40-day training in the military technical school, followed by a mandatory military identification card, and costs about $1,000.
And now let's discuss the main sports event of the past week. In the most anticipated professional boxing match, Kazakh boxer Gennady Golovkin knocked out David Lemieux in round 8. Millions of Gennady's fans worldwide watched the fight, including his fans in Kazakhstan, even though the fight was broadcast on an early Sunday morning. The first couple of rounds were mainly dominated by Golovkin, and in round 5, he floored Lemieux with a power punch to his liver. In round 8, after solid punches, the referee decided to stop the fight. The result was yet another win by the glorious Triple G. Golovkin defended his titles and also won the IBF belt in middleweight. In his 34 fights, Golovkin has never been knocked down or defeated. He beat Lemieux to get his 21st consecutive knockout. Nursultan Nazarbayev congratulated boxer Gennady Golovkin on his victory. The head of the state noted that Golovkin exceeded the expectations of the Kazakhs, who believed in his success. The president of Kazakhstan wished Gennady Golovkin good health and success in conquering new peaks in his career. On October 17th, at the Madison Square Garden in New York, the legendary ring announcer, 70-year-old Michael Buffer, hosted the Golovkin vs. Lemieux fight. This was the first time the world's most star-studded sports presenter announced Golovkin's fight. Buffer announced the fight with his favorite phrase, "Let's get ready to rumble." He said it for the first time 35 years ago and later has even patented the phrase. Buffer is also a famous actor. He starred in more than 20 films and played himself in a famous movie called Rocky.
Gennady Triple G Golovkin, as he puts his undefeated, perfect record on the line against a great, hard-punching IBF champion, David Lemieux. And it's going to be sold out. Gennady has millions of fans here in America, and I'm sure many millions of fans in his hometown, home country of Kazakhstan. I have to tell you something, you know, after knowing Gennady for about 5 years now, and meeting his wife and his mother. And
St. Petersburg hosted a presentation of the book devoted to the life and work of a great Kazakh poet, Jambul Jabayev. The edition was released to mark 2 anniversaries, the 70th anniversary of the victory in the Second World War and the 170th birth anniversary of the great poet. The new edition describes the life of Jambul Jabayev. The book features photographs and historical facts. The author of the book is the provost of the Eurasian National University, Yerlan Sudikov.
St. Petersburg residents know the works of Jambul Jabayev very well. The Kazakh poet had supported people during the siege of Leningrad. When the enemy was at the gates of Leningrad and Moscow, he wrote a poem, "The Citizens of Leningrad, My Children." The people of Leningrad, my pride. I remember that terrible time, though I was not in the blockade. My parents told me about the Kazakh poet. This is a great poet, Jambul. He's like a father from that distant steppe. He embraced the people, saying, "People of Leningrad, my children, the people of Leningrad, my pride." Of course, the city will always be grateful to him. Nursultan Nazarbayev wrote a preface to the book. The president pointed out the special value of work devoted to the 70th anniversary of victory in the Great Patriotic War and the 170th birth anniversary of the great Jambul. We will surely read this book. Of course, we will use it in the military patriotic education during the military events in the Central Armed Forces Museum. People of the city of St. Petersburg honor the memory of the great Kazakh poet. One of the streets in St. Petersburg was named after Jambul Jabayev, and 12 years ago a monument to honor his name was erected.
Last week, famous Kazakh violinist Marat Bisengaliyev performed in Berlin. On the stage of the Berlin Philharmonic, he played poem of Mukan Dulibayev and works of popular British composer Carl Jenkins, integrating the Kazakh motives with the European spirit. The symbiosis was accompanied by the Berlin Symphony Orchestra. The Kazakh virtuoso made an incredible impression on the viewers. The violinist amazed the enthusiastic German audience. Soon, Marat Bisengaliyev will be performing in Almaty, Paris, London, Tokyo and Beijing.
Мне было интересно помузицировать с этим оркестром, особенно произведения казахских композиторов.
It was interesting for me to play the music with the orchestra, especially the works of Kazakh composers. Everything was fascinating. It exceeded my expectations. I really liked the result. It was fabulous to perform with such an orchestra and in such a hall.
Это как хороший инструмент Страдивариус, где все звучит, где просто любой оркестр, любой скрипач дополняет.
On Friday, major Kazakh television agency Khabar celebrated its 20th anniversary. The agency's history began in 1995 with only one newsroom. The country's main channel has received greetings from all parts of Kazakhstan and from abroad on its birthday. At a concert devoted to the 20th anniversary, the chairman of the agency, Aydos Ukibayev, awarded the most accomplished journalists, producers, editors, video engineers, and others with medals and diplomas. Over the years, the agency has become a media giant with 4 TV channels broadcasting in the Kazakh, Russian, and English languages. These include Khabar channel, Kazakh TV national satellite channel, 24KZ non-stop news channel, and cultural and educational channel Bilim және Madaniyet. Khabar has a large correspondent network represented in 18 countries. The Kazakh Minister of Investment and Development Aset Isekeshev congratulated the Khabar agency staff on the agency's 20th birthday.
Очень много наших корреспондентских пунктов за рубежом. Tokyo, New York, Istanbul.
Today, Khabar is one of the recognized leaders of Kazakhstan's broadcasting. I, myself, have been long your loyal television viewer. I want to say that although this is a small jubilee, 20 years, it is significant not only for the team but also for the entire country. Many people in the country love and respect the TV channel for its professionalism, relevance and objectivity.
Общественности по главным вопросам развития Казахстана и международной политики.
Спасибо вам.
During the 18 years which I have been working at Khabar, we went through a lot of changes. But among you, there are operators who went to the shooting, we risked our lives, we were freezing in the car together. All of these stories we have, films which remind us of those moments. With Hassan Amarkula, we traveled to hot spots, lie under fire. Our employees made a lot of such acts of honor. Thank you for your heroism. And these acts of valor are made not only by cameramen and reporters, but every day our editors, drivers, and everyone in the agency. And today we can say with confidence, you work for the homeland, for the stability of our country.
These were the main news from Kazakhstan for the past week. Thank you for staying with me. Goodbye.